Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shawnee Grows, where I encourage everyone to learn as you grow. You don't need to know it all to start, just start. Tonight, we are talking about winter greenhouse options, things to consider, materials, reasons to have one, heating options. We're just going to shop around together. Happy Friday. I have many links, tabs open currently. It looks a little crazy. They're not in any particular order. I just want to share as many images as we can and have a discussion. I do not have a winter greenhouse. I don't even know what my winter greenhouse would look like. Let's just kind of dream together. If you're here in the chat, please let me know your thoughts. Maybe you have a winter greenhouse. Maybe you have advice on what failed and what succeeded. If you're catching us on the replay, leave a comment below. I really appreciate you watching this. I'm going to open the chat and see what we've got. We have Josh. Howdy. How's it going? Food Forest Permaculture. Howie says awesome intro. Thank you. We're talking to each other in the chat. Miss Sharon's here. Oh, there you are. Miss Sharon. So happy you're here. We were able to squeeze in a little live stream late tonight. We're just going to stay up together if you don't mind. So, when we're talking about a winter greenhouse, things you need to consider are the space you have available on your property and where you have that southern exposure, because the sun is going to be very helpful for you to have heat and to let your plants grow. You need to understand what your budget is going into this. If you're doing a do-it-yourselfer weekend warrior project, or if you're spending thousands of dollars for long-term sustainability in a building, in a unit, in a greenhouse here. You need to understand your climate. Maybe you want to grow December, January, February, March. Maybe you only need it to cover you from December, January. I am trying to stick to cold climate, which means our greenhouses need heat. If you're in a hot climate, maybe we could do this conversation on a separate live stream. Those are things like fans, vents, shade cloth are all beneficial for your setup. The placement, like I said, on your property, the foundation, what is that going to be made out of? And how are you going to do your temperature control? So we are going to have to heat, but we also need airflow, and maybe you are going to need ventilation, and maybe you need to be able to control the moisture that's condensing. Like with frost and windows and glass, you get moisture. So maybe we'll see some examples of that this evening. Yes, please thumbs up and share. Check out to make sure you're on live chat, not top chat. Really good advice, everybody. Thank you for being here. Some of the types and styles, the little verbiage, vocabulary, language that we're going to go over tonight for greenhouses: lean-to, freestanding, cold frames, hoop house, caterpillar tunnel, frost cloth, geodesic domes, mini greenhouses, Walipinis, and more. There's more. I did not have time to list them all on here, but I'm hoping that I'm going to cover them in our tabs. And what are the reasons why you would even start this journey? Maybe you just want to extend your growing season. Maybe you want to grow a wider variety of plants. So what I think about with this is your zone tells you what kind of perennials you can have. So maybe you want to push your zones and have different types of perennials that normally would be damaged outside. This can add interest to your property. It helps reduce your reliance on the grocery store, and it can boost your mood. How many of you get a little bummed out in the winter? Maybe greenhouse is your answer, or and a wood-fired sauna. Eh? What do you think? I don't have that. when we're talking about these builds, we're going to look at different types of materials included in them. So that can be glass, acrylic, polycarbonate, fiberglass. Now, a trick I heard was greenhouse plastic. Somebody, like a business that already has a greenhouse, you can ask them for their used plastic. So let's say they have a tear, they're not going to use it anymore, but you could buy it at a discounted rate and overlap, and so that tear isn't a problem for you in your smaller version, and then you've got a deal. The metal or wood or plastic piping for the framing, you need to kind of ask yourself, like, does it snow heavily in your area? The plastic piping is least expensive, but it lacks strength for larger structures, and I imagine it would bow easily with heavy snow loads. Wood is a good thermal insulator. It's important in cold climates. And then metal piping, aluminum or steel, is long lasting and durable. It's not a good insulator, though. Miss Sharon, I think if I had a greenhouse, I would just live in it. Well, let's talk about greenhouses that you can attach to your home tonight. Why don't we do that? Because then you just leave your kitchen and go to your greenhouse, right? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Since we are trying to grow in the cold, there is a limited number of crops that we're gonna, I think, cover. We can't grow everything, okay? But you have to consider your source of heat. And it can be one of these things, it can be multiple, it's good to have systems in place that come in if one fails, right? So electric, solar, propane, wood are all things that you can have to heat a greenhouse. And then there's this word called thermal mass. There's ways to create heat, right? So there's examples where they have barrels of water located in the greenhouse. Some people use bags and piles of leaves, hay and straw bales around the outside walls, mulching with wood chips or having wood chip piles around the outside. I do have in the description links to what I'm going to be pulling up on the screen, and there's some YouTube channels in there that give you tours of the way they're setting up their greenhouse to extend their season. And I'm not sure if I can show people's YouTube channels on here, so I just put the links and you guys can watch them freely on your own. Creative redundancy. Hello, welcome to our live about greenhouse. We're going to do some window shopping. Does sand work? Would you have sand on the inside or the outside? If you have an example of this, I'd love to get the link and hear about it. I don't know. The thing that comes to mind with sand as a gardener is drainage. I have no clue if sand creates a thermal mass. If anyone knows here in the chat, please let us know. So let's look at some greenhouses, shall we? Are you excited? Just asking, he says, CR. It's a great question. Like I said, these aren't in any specific order. This is handprintpress.com greenhouse. They have some type of heater in here. So let's see what type of heater is inside of here. This looks like a thermal mass wood heater. So you would burn wood in the chamber, the chimney. It has a flute that goes outside. So we can see that here at the top. It does have like a lean-to style roof for snow to fall off. And then on the inside, let's check out what they're growing. I see nasturtiums, geraniums, tomatoes, peppers. Looks like they have a dirt floor, and these are in some kind of beds. Maybe they're wood beds. From the ceiling, they have potted plants hanging. I see some collards or broccoli leaves. Maybe some lettuce. It's a close-up shot of the tomatoes they're growing. They are going to show how to construct this thermal mass heater that they created, and it's a lot of pictures. So you can go into the description to check out how they did this build. Now my consideration here is, do you live on land that produces wood, right? And how long does that thermal mass heat last? Are you feeding that every 4 hours? Those are questions I have about it. Creative redundancy. Water might freeze. Water I hear about for definitely not my zone. I hear about it for, is it Arkansas or Alabama? I think is where they used it. And yeah, it can get messy, right? Like if something breaks. I've seen it where like if we have a fruit tree, they put barrels of water surrounding the entire thing. So then it has this thermal heat around it so it doesn't get frost bitten. But for my area, I'm not so sure about barrels of water. The leaking, correct. It can get, whoa, storms, tornadoes, and cats. Hey, we are talking about some greenhouses. We're just doing some winter greenhouse window shopping. And depending on how long this goes, I might open up a second live stream for a late night chat. We'll see. It's kind of late, but it's Friday. So it depends on if we're having a good time or not. Creative redundancy. Supposedly you can store thermal heat in large amounts of sand. Okay, fantastic. I did not know that. I love learning from others. Creative redundancy gets to -40 here. Yes, same. Me too, in Minnesota. I can't see water being my only way to heat and keep plants alive in a greenhouse at all. No, thank you. Okay, let's talk about more basic, small scale ways to grow, to extend our growing in the colder climates. This is called a cold frame. So it's strategically placed up against that building. I'm assuming it's their house. And it's kind of what it sounds like. It's a frame, excuse me, and it has windows on top that open. And there's plants and dirt. I'm not sure what we all are planting here, but this is Chicago Botanic Garden, it says. Okay, cold frame, a simple low slung structure to enclose garden beds or flats of seedlings under glass or a plastic top like a tiny unheated greenhouse. So here on a raised bed space, they just have a big window that they plop on top and take off. When it's too warm out, you need to take that off, or you'll burn and fry your plants. But it's a great place to start seedlings. You can see they just took some old doors and they have them leaned up against some bales. Okay, the next type is called a hotbed. This is a cold frame with a source of heat to warm the soil or the seedlings from below. It keeps things warmer than a cold frame. It can be heated with an electric heating cable in sand or by decomposing organic matter. See, that's what I've seen. They build the bed with, like you're building a compost pile. I've seen Hugh Richards do this. And then on the very top, there's a certain amount of inches of actual just regular soil that you plant in. And it kind of heats up, slow burn, composting method to grow food in a safe way. Okay, it's telling us how to build a hotbed. So they put hot horse manure on the bottom. They didn't put any wood in. I would have thought that they would have put logs, like rotting logs in, and then there's topsoil and then the plants and then that lid that they have. Rot resistant posts. Well, I thought for sure they would have had. I'm looking for more pictures. Let me stop this. I don't like when it gets really wordy. Yeah, that was the end. Okay, storms, radios, and cats. Yep, because brick radiates heat if it is warmed by the sun or the other source. Right, how it had it up against the house. Are you laughing because it got wordy and I bailed? We're going to talk about a funny name now. And I'm not sure where this comes from. So this is called Walipini or a pit greenhouse. So it's below the ground level. They have posts holding it up. Let's see if I can find a good sentence here. It's a pit greenhouse, a hole dug in the ground with glazing laid over it. The name Walipini originated from a 2002 agricultural project where volunteers from the Benson Institute went to Bolivia with the goal of building low-cost pit greenhouses for local farmers to use year-round. The pit design was called Walipini, which means place of warmth in the indigenous tongue. 6 to 8 feet hole. It's covered with a single or double layer of polyethylene glazing. They've gained popularity. It works well near the equator at high altitudes in dry climates. Well, that does not equal my location, but okay. If you decide to build a Walipini in northern latitudes, you'll need to think of carefully about your roof slope, the angle of the sun during the winter solstice to ensure there's no shading. You can build an earth berm on the north side to create a steeper roof slope. This is a paragraph about glazing, insulation, the earthen walls. Ventilation can be tricky since it's underground. You can dig out doors on the east and west end, installing vents towards the top back wall, trap doors. This is a geodesic dome greenhouse, which I have opinions about. I'm not a fan of the roundness of them because then you're customizing everything that goes inside of it. Ooh, look at these flowers. Everything's dead here because it's not yet winter, but pretty much. It's getting wordy again. Do we have any what is this? Nope, that was the end of that one. All right, back to the chat. Okay, look up sand battery. Those are the keywords I have to type in. Get into Google here. Sand battery. Wow, sand battery thermal mass greenhouse. It just, that was what. Well, I don't want a video. Do we do it ourselves? I'm looking for pictures. Oh, I've seen this guy, and I didn't save this link because I didn't like it. Let's find another one. It says a sand battery, not obviously a great idea. It can store enough heating over winter for 2 houses. I don't know. This isn't a great website either. I can't find a good... Sorry. Should I go to images? One moment, please. None of this is showing the sand. Wait, what's this? Where's the pictures? Is it just a video? I can't find a good source CR to explain this. Sorry, but I love the idea and that you shared a thought. Thank you so much. Okay, bigger equals holds more heat. Yeah, I imagine it's like I'm picturing silos size of sand. Google is only helpful when it benefits Google. Yeah, it was not. That was not a whole lot of pretty information for that. But I had never heard of that before. Okay, let's look at row covers, shall we? This is what I want to get into. You can use row covers inside hoop houses and cold frames to add a layer of protection. So here they have a frame that is on hinges that attach to the raised bed, and it has this domey hoop house on top. Mini hoop house. It's built directly over your existing bed. Here is a cattle panel hoop house. So they took cattle panel and arched it Now, I've seen these collapse under snow. GT Junior grows at Alaska. Welcome to our late night greenhouse window shopping adventure. Greenhouses and high tunnels is this next section. Do-it-yourself hoop house. I wonder if it's made out of PVC. And then they have some type of plastic. Mulch insulates crops, but not where I'm at in the winter, really. And then timing the crop selection for season extension is very important, of course. These cold frames and hoop houses don't equal you can grow everything at all. I'm looking ahead to see. This was talking about spring and summer, and that's not my conversation today. Ooh, here's a list of crops to grow in the winter. This is the nice top text font. Collard, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, Napa cabbage, bok choy, carrots, parsnips, beets, turnips, radish, lettuce. Clay salad? What? Clay salad? What does that even mean? Kentucky Goblin, you will not see me putting up any winter greenhouses outside while it is this cold, but I see what you are talking about. Thanks for coming in. Window shop with us. Broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, cilantro, parsley. Oh, and then it talks about growing indoors, which is a whole nother conversation that we could talk about on and on and on and on. So I want to buy or create or build hoops that can go over just my in-ground garden bed, maybe like one bed. And then I think I'm going to get frost cloth, like frost blanket that goes over the hoops. And I don't know what I'm making the hoops out of. And I don't know if I'm getting frost cloth. My original plan was insect netting because I'm just trying to keep out food forest permaculture. Rocket mass heater is fantastic. And I love polytunnels. Yeah, there's one coming up that they built and they used it and then they tore it out because they wanted the space to grow food. It took up so much space. They built a massive like rocket stove thing. I'll show a picture of it. Kentucky Goblin, I will shop with you if you're buying. Imaginary money is what we're using. Destiny, welcome to the late night greenhouse window shopping extravaganza. I want a greenhouse like Arctopia. We'll have to look at that. If I do have some links in the description for YouTube channels for tours on greenhouses that I couldn't show on here. Arctopia sounds like a fun one. So I'm going to show the frost cloth because like I said, I was originally thinking insect netting. I might get both. I don't know. I don't have a good sized budget anymore for this stuff. This is a frost fighter frost blanket from Modern Grower. So this is how it would work. You put it over the hoops to protect your plants, and then these can be used inside a polytunnel. So there's different levels of fabric. Level 1 and 2 are thin, they're lightweight, and they let a lot of light in, but they're not strong. If you pull them too tightly, they're going to tear. Levels 4 and 5 are more robust fabrics, but the trade-off there is decreased light, and they get more heat retention. And then you can choose what size, like this is showing 90 inches by 120 feet long, and they want $65 for that. So, not sure what we're going to do about that. So this is a different style. I don't have a lot of information on this rocket stove. I don't think I do. No, I shouldn't have said that because maybe I do. Can you see it back there? There's like this, and then this stone, this barrel, the rocket mass heater along the back wall. So after 5 years of running a passive solar greenhouse in Canada North, these people of Verge Permaculture have this now, apparently. R20 walls all around. I don't know what that means. It has to do with how cold your environment gets. So there's the outside view of the greenhouse and the garden. They're talking about limiting ventilation. Oh, here's an up-close picture. So there, they do have a vent right here up top. Does it not snow there? Like, there's this giant snow catchment wedge here. What? Calgary, Canada? Does it snow in Calgary? Thermal mass is crucial to your success if you want to extend seasons. Often talk about water as a thermal mass, but it can freeze and make a mess. Even though they have a quarter of thermal capacity of water, they're a fan of stone, concrete, cob. You don't have to worry about them in the winter. It says if you're using water as thermal mass, use 8 to 12 liters of water per square foot of glazing. If you're using stone, concrete, or cob, go with 40 to 60 kilograms per square foot. Okay, this is the Valhalla project, the greenhouse of the future. They have 3 concepts put together: earthships, aquaponics, and passive solar energy. So here's a diagram where it shows where they have veggies, where they have fish. There's veggies again. Here's the actual inside of the greenhouse of the future. They made it a nice little vibe place for your mood, I see. Oh, here. It's zone 3 is what we're talking about here? Okay. Creative redundancy. I know some use soil and dirt to hold back heat. Miss Sharon says R20 is insulation. Oh, okay, gotcha. Destiny Fitzgerald. I like that Arctopia's passive solar greenhouse allows them to grow bananas while it's negative 40 degrees Celsius outside. Great channel. Well, if I remember, I can put their channel in the description as well, because it sounds like one that we should all go see. So yeah, I mean, if you're seeing the YouTube picture, these all have their own channel. The link for this tab, this entire thing I'm looking at, is in the description. Northern Greenhouse Research Project. That's what theirs looks like. Everything is automated. Watering, soil moisture, shutters, lighting, ventilation, CO2 and RH, bed temperature, battery charging, and Stirling operation. They have lights. They're using lights inside their greenhouse. Polygal thermal... What? Polygal thermogol? Is that how you say that? Double glass, R value, light. Okay. Has some kind of personal power station. Oh, this is the picture I wanted to show you. Do you see down here at the bottom right? These are aluminum cans filled with water. Can you believe that? Okay. Here's a driftless farm pit greenhouse in Wisconsin. Look at the structure. It's harvested black locust trees. Wow. It's a 2,800 square foot greenhouse, insulated with straw bales, and it's lowered to the ground for efficiency. This is inside. They do have the stuff up on a raised platform here. Looks like a lot of lettuce right there. Oh, let's see where we left off. I also like the no-dig method of Charles. Yes, I do watch Charles Dowding. Do you ever watch Hugh Richards' Destiny? Creative redundancy. I've seen that set up from videos. Destiny Fitzgerald. Love the pics of the greenhouses. Oh, thanks. Yeah, you know, I needed pictures. I don't want to just read about it, right? Hey, Miss Sharon found the link to Arctopia. Thank you. Creative redundancy. They make aluminum cans into heaters. Oh, Storm says, wow. Kentucky Goblin. You have to build within your budget. Yes, that was one of the things we talked about when you are considering doing a greenhouse project. What space do you have available? What's your budget? What's your climate? What's your placement, foundation, temperature control options? Definitely. Okay. Looking up hue now, thanks. Oh, is it, how do you spell it? I don't think it's H-U-G-W-G-H. Is it H-U-W? I'm going to use my phone because I feel like that's faster. If anyone has it, let her know before I get to it. I think it's H-U-W. So if I type it in here, he's a good gardener to watch too. Okay, any ideas, feelings about Walipinis spelling as greenhouses? I don't think I closed that tab. Would it work here? Maybe. No, maybe yes. I think I read here. Let me see. We'll go back to it. This is what I have for a picture of a Walipini or a pit greenhouse. We read earlier that the name originated from when someone went to Bolivia and they were talking about low-cost pit greenhouses for farmers, and Walipini means place of warmth in the indigenous tongue. It's a 6 to 8 foot hole dug in the ground that's covered with a single or double layer of polyethylene glazing. They're gaining popularity, but we need to change them for them to work in North America when it comes to snow and sunlight angles in the winter time. We do not recommend Walipinis as year-round growing options for growers living in North America. So that's why we don't hear or see about them much. Therefore, not North America. I think so. I think Hugh is Wales in the UK? I think so. I think that's where he's at. Oh, let's see. Storm Turtles and Cats. And no matter what, don't let anyone tell you it can't be done or it isn't worth the effort, especially if they've never had experience in it themselves. Yeah. Right. It's nice to have someone go through it and say, this is what worked and this is what didn't, right? I'm gonna find where we're at. Backwoods Home made a attached solar greenhouse onto their house. So shall we look at that next? Now this, if you go to this link on your own time, I have it in the description. There's a whole bunch of like build progress shots, and I'm just kind of showing broad baselines here. So you can notice that there is a stone wall here, and that is going to help. Maybe you can't see it. I don't know. Help with heat. Gotta look for a couple other pictures on here that I want to show you. They have like a drawing, sketched drawing. So you can see what the inside could look like, maybe. Right there. GT grows it, Alaska. Alaska is complicated because we don't get as much sunshine. Right. That's a whole nother level. Like, it's almost like you have to have your greenhouse with lights in it. Yes, Wales is in the UK. In the winter, you're right, we're talking about sun in the winter. Winter solstice is coming soon too. Is that December 21st, I think? How are we saying yay? Oh, we're singing songs in the chat here. So this guy, how do I undo that? There we go. He had a cool idea because one, I mean, obviously this greenhouse is attached to his house. What better way to do that than it's right attached to you? But he had this problem that he was seeing kind of. Oh, here's a shot of what it looks like with like condensation. Oh, that didn't work. So here's the inside. He painted the back wall green. He had a reason for that. So here's some plants that they have. Plants are brought inside to extend their production time. So he had, here it is, this bucket. He had to put gutters inside. Okay, morning sun turns window frost to water, which runs down the glass. So they installed gutters and a bucket, and they're catching the water, right? And then they're putting it back into the plant bed. Isn't that cool? So this next one is that thermal mass heater that I was saying earlier that they installed and then took it out later because they just wanted the growing space. Rocket stoves. So here's a compilation of like this massive stone rock area that like stores the heat. And here's where like you feed the wood in. This is them building it. Here's the stovepipe outside, the crops that they grew in it. So this is midwestpermaculture.com epic greenhouse rocket mass heater. You can find it in the description. They talk about the build and they have pictures, and it's a lot to scroll through, like I said, for live stream purposes, so you'll have to go and look at it. This next thing, I think it's called geothermal heating, but the way they have it on here is it's called GAHT system. So GAHT means ground to air heat transfer system. You're using air. You're blowing air from beneath the soil's surface, the earth's surface, I mean. So like soil temperatures can remain 50 to 60 degrees at a certain level below our frost line, I'm assuming, for us northern people. And it has these, what do you call these, pipes that they put below the frost line, and it blows the hot from the earth up into your greenhouse. So it's an air exchange, and it's supposed to be cheaper to run than any other kind of heater and fan system. But I mean, how much was it to install and build? Think of the hole you're digging, right, into the ground to get to that point. Destiny, lots of new homes in our area are now using geothermal to heat. So interesting. There's a place I know that has heated floors. Cornfused, Kentucky Goblin. He's being funny. Next, we have domes. How do you guys feel about domes? Because I said earlier, not a fan. That's just because they're hard to fit in the space. Just things. I don't like them. This is growingspaces.com. They have a pond in it. They're using the pond as thermal mass to absorb the heat from the sun throughout the day, and then it releases the heat into the greenhouse at night. Now, they'll show us here the crops that they're choosing. So let's look at that. Kale, broccoli, chard, lettuce, arugula, bok choy, beet, radish, peas, mustard greens are cold hardy and shade tolerant because, yeah, we have to consider there's not that much sun. And then there's a specific planting schedule. This is for zones 4 and 5 they're speaking about. This is a shot of rhubarb chard and dinosaur kale, and then supplemental heat. They kind of have to figure out. So one option is a propane heater, which is this little picture here. And like I said, they have that pond in there, so they're heating up the pond. And then here's a stovepipe for a wood stove in there. It was a tiny wood stove. You have to add wood every 2.5 hours for this baby little tiny wood stove, where other ones, it's 4 to 6 hours. So like the wood stove could be out in the morning when you wake up, but the greenhouse can still be 20 degrees above the outside temperature. Here's an electric infrared heater that they're showing right here. I thought they had another heater on here. Submersible bucket heater for the pond. There's the fish. Not a pond gal, so let's shop some heaters. Well, shall we? Should we look at some heaters? Thanks for remembering to hit that thumbs up or the thumbs down. If they had a thumb in between, I'd say hit that one too. Why not? I really like the Sean James Grow Dome. Not sure why he axed it. It seems so. Oh, he said why he axed it. He said that it was a waste of space, and it was, you have to modify every table or anything that you want to put in there because tables are square and this is a dome. So, he did not enjoy what you can get out of that for the amount of money and time and finicking that you have to do. It just wasn't effective for him. GT says diesel heater. Let's look at heaters. That's my next little screen here. No, it depends on what size space you're trying to heat, right? BioGreen Palma Greenhouse Heater is $170 on Amazon, or apparently they sell it at Walmart. Here's a picture of it. The pros are, it's a stainless steel casing, compact size, lightweight, easy to use, adjustable thermostat, energy efficient, powerful heating output. Cons, not suitable for spaces larger than 120 square feet. Right. It's an electric space heater, it says, and it has its own circulation fan, draws 1500 watts, 120 volt. Okay, next is the Doctor Heater, infrared greenhouse heater, $105 on Amazon. And they also sell it at Home Depot. Pros are wallet friendly, has a temperature sensor, overheat protection, adjustable thermostat. Yeah, you don't want to have it too hot for your crops, right? We kind of need to be able to set it and forget it. Heavy duty steel housing, lightweight and portable. Cons, the warranty is for parts and repair only. Okay. This is what I see in large greenhouses, is the Comfort Zone ceiling mount heater. $109 on Amazon, it says, and it's at Home Depot. Heats large spaces up to 1,000 square feet. Fan force design for wide heat dispersion. Adjustable thermostat for precise temperature control. Remove front grill for easy cleaning. Adjustable louvers provide targeted airflow. Overheat protection sensor. The cons are it's not portable. No, it's once it's installed, it stays there. This is what I see all the big greenhouses. Storms, radios, and cats. They better be either rich or have solar, because here in Kentucky, the power companies will eat every penny we have just to power that one infrared heater. Right. Kentucky Goblin. Well, you're going to bed. Oh, have a good restful sleep. Good to let you see me tonight later all. Goodbye, Goblin. We have the dot saying they are still here and listening. Food Forest Permaculture. GT, I have something like that in my garage. Oh, what? Storms, radios, and cats. What is this? For anyway, seeing people do that in chat everywhere. Oh, it means you're here. Like, hey, you know what else it helps is my chat rate. When you keep the chat moving and you keep talking to people in it, it tells YouTube this live stream's awesome. Let's promote it and have more people join us for the for the fun. Tammy Harder, hi there. Welcome to our window shopping for winter greenhouses. Everyone greet Tammy. Okay, so we talked about that one. This is a Mr. Heater Buddy F23 2000 Pros. Connects quickly to a 1-pound propane bottle or a 20-pound tank. Affordable swivel out regulator for easy fuel connection. Emergency low oxygen safety system. Accidental tip over safety shutoff. Includes a, I don't know how to say that, piezo igniter. Cons is it may shut off at altitudes higher than 7,000 feet. There's 2 settings. It's portable. Here is a oil-filled radiator heater. This is on Amazon for $95. I've never seen these used in greenhouses, guys. Honestly, these last two, I've seen them used in homes or garages, but not a greenhouse. This one only does 164 square feet. So It would maybe keep things from dropping below 32 degrees, but it's not going to keep it at 70 degrees like some plants need. Some plants need 55 degrees. Like, it's just looking at your size, your fuel source, your ventilation, static or forced air, thermostat control, safety features. These are just some heaters that came up. Okay, yeah, the Big Buddy heater is great. I have one and want another. All right. Oh, what? Too lazy to type. I use the dot system, and it's because my hands are full and I just want you to know I'm here. Okay, CR. So green onion might work. In a greenhouse? I mean, that you grow on your windowsill in your kitchen. This is from BC Greenhouse. This is lean-tos. Let's look at lean-tos. So these are attached to a building. It can be your house. It can be a shed. You can shop their website. But, I mean, it can look curved. It can look square. It can look white. It can look green. It can look black. It's however you want. But here's some examples of what they sell. There's many more pictures. Just wanted to show an overview of BC greenhouses. You can click their link in the description. And then these are kits, hoop house kits and caterpillar tunnels from Bootstrap Farmer. This is the stuff that it's like you're committing, right? You're committing to, like, this first one, all metal round hoop house kit is $3,600. Gothic all metal hoop house kit, $3,800. 30-foot round all metal hoop house kit, $8,000. All metal caterpillar tunnel kit with butterfly door is the cheapest thing on here, $2,700 something dollars, right? So this is like, you have space and you're serious. And again, that link is in the description. Destiny Fitzgerald. Like the Adobe made greenhouses heated by wood burning rocket heaters. Not sure that's what they're called. Like a rocket stove, yep. But knowing my luck, I'd mess it up and burn my when I sat down on the Adobe. I looked at cob ovens, and I don't have the link. I might be able to find it. They built a cob oven, and it's very specific. This layer is made of this. This layer is made out of glass bottles. This layer is, it's just crazy. A lot of them, it was to cook food with, and some of them had them on the end of their greenhouse. Isn't that funny? Yeah. CR, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Destiny, bench. Then have to go put your butt in the snow. Storm Shadows and Cats. Rocket stoves can be safe depending on the materials you build them out of. Yeah. 50-gallon barrels. The Firestone cement. There's a link in the description that actually breaks down the materials they use to build their rocket stove, and then what type of gravel and sand and stone and layers, and then it does make like a bench to hold onto the heat, let it radiate out. So those were my tabs. Those are all the things I gathered. I'm sure I could have went and found 10 more, but it takes time to do these things. So I still don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, oh, I forgot to talk about Walmart has cold frames. I couldn't show you that because it keeps trying to put information on there I'm not sharing. I couldn't figure out how to get just the image. So if you go to Walmart and you type in cold frame, you could find one for $100. And maybe you already have a bed, in-ground bed or a raised bed out in your garden, and this would fit on top of it. It would extend your season a little bit, like the shoulders. You're not going to be able to grow in it all winter if you live in like zone 3, 4, 5. Not at all. And then Amazon sells mini greenhouses. And what these are to me, again, I can't show a picture because I couldn't figure out how to get it not to show stuff. They look like something that you would set up in your house, in your kitchen window on the south side. It's shelves and it's zipped plastic. I wouldn't keep this outside. It's going to blow away. Now in the spring, summer, maybe you could use this to start seedlings, right? You could put lights inside of this shelved, plastic zipped Amazon mini greenhouse unit, but I wouldn't be relying on it in negative temperatures, right? Storms, Ridders, and Cat says, yes, there is a 55-gallon drum stove here that used to be in this house. I don't trust one inside my house, but something outside would be okay, I suppose. They put out a lot of BTUs. Right. I love wild blueberry pie. I have wild blueberries in my freezer. Radio Jonesy, hey. We did window shopping for different greenhouses, what to consider, why you should maybe have a winter greenhouse, what materials to consider. We shopped. We went from do-it-yourself basic to extravagant. Let's spend $8,000. I still don't have an answer on what I'm going to do. I think I definitely want to try extending my season in some matter at the offsite garden, but what will that look like? I'm not sure yet. I'm looking at my notes over here. I know that if you have a freestanding cottage type greenhouse or a caterpillar tunnel or a hoop house, definitely that ceiling heater is what was interesting to me, but you need to be able to power that. And then having low hoops with frost cloth to cover the beds so it's covered inside of a shelter. I've seen that a lot and that seems to work, but you're still only growing greens. Maybe some roots have been established and you're protecting them. The Wickershire Project off grid. Hello. You know everyone in the chat. Welcome to we did greenhouse shopping, window shopping for winter. Whether you want to do it yourself and have a cold frame or extend your season and spend $8,000. Everyone's talking to each other. Tammy Harder, there are some really good rocket stoves made in Wisconsin from a company called Chiasen Smoke, a family-owned business. Nice folks. They made a bunch of stoves and sent them to NC after the storm. What? That's so kind of them. Do I get to see a picture if I look at their website? Do they have a... Talk amongst yourselves while I type this in. Rocket stove. They have a website. They have a shop button. Rocket stoves. They sell all kinds of stuff. Oh, this is different than what I thought. This is a little baby rocket stove compared to what we saw earlier. This is the biggest one. All right, let's look at it. This is what she just talked about. Where did that comment? So I can undo it. There it is. This is what that company makes for that. I've never seen that style rocket stove. The one I've seen is like Firestone, cinder block, sand, mud, clay, packed, giant barrel situations. So this one's $485. They don't have a picture of it being used. So I'm not sure this would work for a greenhouse. Like all the rocket stoves I saw, it's a chimney flute that goes outside. Right? People are saying hi, sharing the links, check each other out. Destiny Fitzgerald, this has been informative and fun. I'm saving this to the garden playlist. Thanks for the ideas, Shawnee. Time for bed. Good night, y'all. Good night, Destiny. Rest well. Sweet dreams. Bob942, welcome. Welcome to the end of our greenhouse chitty chat. Talking about extending our seasons in the cold. How would we do that? Wickershire Project. Yeah, greenhouse with 55-gallon poly drums painted black. I need passive extended heat to release at night. Yes. So we're talking about thermal mass, right? So barrels of water that the sun, solar, has heated up during the day, they release their heat at night. and we're talking like barrels, right? Somebody on here earlier we looked at, they have beds that they have aluminum cans in, and they have the aluminum cans filled with water, but they also have like 55 gallon barrels on the other side. There's a YouTube channel, I think it's tagged in my description, where they have just piles around everywhere. It's piles of wood chips, bagged leaves, straw bales, hay bales, all around everything. And the greenhouse is like to your head. When you go inside, it's a wood frame, and they're growing citrus in there, and it's urban. It's in the middle of suburbia, and like they show aerial shots of the place. I think it's in there in the description. It was crazy. It was very claustrophobic-y, like to garden in there like that. That would not help my mood just to grow some oranges and lemons at all. Like I want to be able to breathe in there. I want to be able to read a book in there. I want to be able to like chill in there, right? Oh, where am I at? People are saying hi. No way I'm going out there to feed a rocket stove. I know, like even the gigantic enormous one, you're still feeding it every 6 hours. What? You know, obviously this was land that had trees that they could burn. Tammy, they make cool outdoor gear. They have a 6 and a 4. Yeah, they make all kinds of stuff. Warning, viewing our content will lower brain cells. Wickeshire, what? No. Miss Sharon. Storms. Shawnee, that rocket stuff you just showed would work well in a tunnel greenhouse. Caterpillar tunnel? Yes, I know it's summer there. So for summer greenhouses, things to consider is fans, vents, and shade cloth. Sometimes it's too darn hot and you need some shade cloth. You can either have it where it drapes over the greenhouse, or it's on a structure and it's framed above it and you take it down when you need to. He's just saying water is excellent thermal storage with radiant heat storage. CR and I were talking about how water can still freeze and it can make a mess, right? So you never know what's going to happen. Radio pass some heat, thanks. Look at all his heat emojis. Wickeshire, I think of it like when you get out of bed under thick warm covers, then crawl back in after to go to the bathroom and it's so warm. That's the best example. Is that what the plants are thinking? Because yeah, I've seen like in Alabama, they'll have a fruit tree and maybe it's in a greenhouse, maybe it's not, and they'll just cover around it with giant barrels and buckets of water, and it survives the frost. Storm says, yeah, those outdoor pellet stoves are fine and all, but someone has to reload it with pellets. There's always that catch. Bob942, here in the rhubarb hot houses, they use all oil stoves. Is it supposed to say rhubarb? I'm not trying to laugh at you. I'm just Okay, oil stoves. Is that all I have to type in? I want like a good picture. This might be a good picture. Let's share. Fire. Oil stove? Arctic model, oil classic, heating capacity, up to 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet. Okay, okay. This is from Kuma Oil. I imagine that would work great. Love the dot. I see you. Wickshire. Yeah, Jonesy, we are mailing you all our cold weather. No. Look it up. Hot house. Say it's rhubarb is the word we're talking about? Okay. This better not be inappropriate. I never know. So the first thing that came was a variety of rhubarb that's grown in a hothouse has pink or light red stalks. Is that what we're talking about? A variety of rhubarb? It's just showing me pictures of rhubarb. Is that what you're trying to say? Storm geodes and cats. Okay, so why has no one thought about a water heater in a greenhouse and some copper plumbing circulating heat, maybe even some moisture if done correctly? Maybe it is out there and I didn't find it. um, so let's type in water heater, copper, pipe, greenhouse. Box water heater? That's a video. I can't do videos, guys. Has anyone put a low power water heater in a tank to keep the greenhouse warm? That was like a chat. Do it yourself greenhouse heating, water heating system. Maybe it exists. A system of pipes used to distribute the heat energy throughout the greenhouse may be cast iron, aluminum, or copper. This is from a university, so do they have a picture? Probably not. Usually the universities are wordy. I'm not seeing a picture. Okay, it is a crop grown in the dark during the... Oh, what? Didn't say that on there. Grown in the dark. It is available in the dead of winter. It is harvested by candlelight? What? Let's see if this article shows me actual pictures, because so far it's just words. I mean, I imagine they don't have much film of this. I want to see the place, like, candlelit. It's just showing me pictures of rhubarb. It looks like regular rhubarb. That's cool. Forced rhubarb. Yeah, I've seen forced rhubarb with a pot over it so it reaches for the light. Is this a picture? Nope. Okay. Winter sounds like it will make a good visit this next week in Minnesota. Bummer, but it's what it is. So, well, did you see? Well, here for me in Minnesota tomorrow and the next day, so the whole weekend, it's gonna be 48. What? 48 is warm. Food forest permaculture. I have seen smudge pots used to increase temps for growing. Smudge pots. Is that made out of clay? Smudge pots. Increase temps in greenhouse. Sometimes internet searching things is hard. Is this a smudge pot? This is not a good supplier of things. I'm not showing that. I thought it was made out of clay, but it looks like it's steel. Maybe this is a better way to play it. Okay. I'll share this one. So we're talking about smudge pots now. This deflection hood. Look at the heat colors on that thing. Oh my. Never heard of that. Tasmanian, the weather changes here every couple of hours, so bring it on. Oil furnace. Rhubarb grows in the dark. Wickershire, all thermal mass is set inside on the northern wall. Best place for it. Water barrels, brick and mortar, sandbags, and stone. Always the darker the color, the better in the sun. I picked hothouse rhubarb when I was growing. You picked it? What? That's cool. So you've ate both dark growing rhubarb and outside light growing rhubarb? Is there a contrast in texture, flavor? Tell us more. Storms, radios, and cats. Water heater, copper plumbing and coils, just like the old homes use radiators for heating it as hot water from a boiler in the basement. Boilers are dangerous. Wickershire. Section 4, paragraph 8 of the Shire Secrets to Heating Greenhouse. Always install a second polyfoam layer to trap air. Major increase in thermal storage in colder climates. Bob 942. The farmers used electric lights. You know, someone talks about keeping citrus alive with Christmas lights and then wrapping that in its own space. Christmas lights. Bob 942. Lights only while you are picking it. Once a week it gets picked. GT, we will be in the 30s this week. Woo! Yeah, there's crazy, like, heat wave above freezing. Wickershire, I'm also into DC and DC solar water heating. Lesson on ohms, resistance, and not so much voltage. I could make a video on how to properly use solar panels directly hooked up to a water heater element. I think that sounds lovely for a winter project. Why don't you get on that? Make video. Creative redundancy. I feel warm here. Miss Sharon, it's 26 here right now. It's 27 right now, I think, if this is accurate. Bob, in Yakima, Washington, they used smudge pots to warm the air in the apple orchards. This talked about orchards. Yeah. So, okay. Fascinating. Storm says to GT, we have been in the 20s and 30s here. Next week, we'll be in the mid 40s. Yeah, the whole place is warming up. Howie's still listening. Miss Sharon has cousins in Yakima, if I'm saying that right. Creative redundancy. Billy, I heard of doing that with sand. Wickershire, idea on water heater elements is to increase amps and not voltage. We want to match voltage and shove as many amps into the element and not exceed the wattage value, or you burn it up. Tammy says, 47 here tomorrow? Yes, yeah. So I haven't looked that far ahead to see. I mean, we're going to get hit with a cold front, but is there going to be precipitation? Are we going to have some stuff falling? That's white. Storm shadows and cats. Yes, boilers are not used because they are hazard, but a water heater is about as safe as you can get. Bob grew up farming. Farming's great for the soul and the hands and the body. Wickershire, extra large greenhouse plus compost piles. This is Amish technology. Right. A lot of people spoke about the pros to doing that, but some did say, like, you need to have a management plan for rats or mice or pests. Like, you're not using up any energy, but there's always a but, right? It's 32 right now for GT in Alaska. CR says this stream is warm with comments. Miss Sharon says to GT, it's colder right now in South Carolina than it is in Alaska. Food Formers, permaculture, good night. Creatures big and small. This was fun, but I'm in need of rest. Great to hear all the ideas. Some awesome. See ya, Earthlings. Rest well and peaceful, Howie. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe. Wickershire. CR, I have a weak bladder. You should check your feet. Wink. Storms. I need to install my solar here. I haven't even given it any thought since moving here. I'm sure my batteries need a good charge. Add it to the list. CR. That's strike 3, says Bob. Like I said, water can leak. It's 22 here, but I'm talking Celsius. Somebody tell me what that means. I don't know the equation. I really don't like math, let's be honest. So I could learn the equation, but will I do it? I don't know. Oops, I'm in images. 71? That's warm. I forgot you're in summer, but just, wow. It's like a beautiful day there. Sharon says to GT, come get this stuff and take it back where it belongs. Oh, there, he did it. Yeah, that's perfect day. For real. That's crazy. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? If I go back to this, there's a poll. Did everyone get a chance to answer the poll? It might help us decide how we're going to shop. for our winter greenhouse options. So it's what winter gardening solutions interest you most? Cold frames, low tunnels, heaters and rocket stoves, or full winter greenhouses, which are the most expensive, I imagine. We could just grow in our house. It's already built. It already has heat. Indoor growing, anyone? There is a collaboration going on. Oops, where am I typing? Hashtag WIG 2024. I think it's winter indoor gardening. I always want to say growing. I think it's winter indoor gardening with GT Jr. and Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Post a video with that hashtag of you planting a seed indoors now, anytime now, and then till April, I believe. I am participating the best I can. I have a lot of videos that aren't qualifying for that hashtag because I planted it before it started like December 1st. And my project in the mail came and it's starting, hopefully, to work. So subscribe and stay tuned for future videos on the secret item that I'm growing. Some of you already know because I think I let the cat out of the bag one day publicly. Storms. Yes, I answered the poll. At first, I thought I was being asked about performing a pole dance. Thank you for sharing Mike's Chaotic Gardening link. Thank you, Miss Sharon. CR. As a Canadian, I often have convert for American viewers. Yeah, for the temperature discussions. I don't understand this question. So when are you starting over? What? Use more words. I'm confused. Are you talking to me? Radio Jonesy, I know when going on lives in America, I have to be ready with the Fahrenheit. I'm going to end the poll. And the winner is 76% full winter greenhouses, 15% cold frames, which I could get down with. 7% heaters and rocket stoves, 0% low tunnels, 13 votes. If GT Jr. can grow, so can you. Oh, Wickeshire. I still don't know what this meant. So when are you starting over? Waiting for you to reply. Does anyone have big plans for the weekend? We are going to build gingerbread houses, and today we had a craft. There's many more crafts to come, but we took and they cut ribbon, which helps with their scissors skills, my children, and we put it in an empty ornament. So fun things are happening, but it's gonna be 48, so we might have to like go to the state park and walk. Or CR says the off-grid one. Wickeshire. Oh, funny story, not so funny. We failed growing Swiss chard. Yeah, I wanted to know something ate it or what. It's not humanly possible to do, but I managed somehow. I really was confused on. I saw your video. What happened with the Swiss chard? So, if you have Swiss chard seeds now, you could just grow them as microgreens in a sunny place, because I know you don't have grow lights. I get it. Oh, GT answered me. Are you going to join in the competition by starting seeds after December 1st to actually be consistent? Yeah, I'm going to start. Every time I start something now, after that December 1st date, I'll put that hashtag in there. But if I do an update video on something I'm growing and it doesn't have that hashtag, that means I started it before. So, are you trying to make fun of me? I'm not sure if there's humor in this, but the answer is yeah. Every time I use the hashtag, it'll mean that I started the. Oh, does it have to be by seed, GT? Now that you're here, I can ask you. My project is mushrooms. Can mushrooms be in this competition with that hashtag? Because that's not a seed, it's a spore. So please answer me. Storms is talking about Celsius and Fahrenheit facts. Is there an ending start date? GT, tell us a spiel about hashtag WIG 2024 quickly, if you don't mind, if you have time. Tammy, I just started doing some Christmas decorating today, but I have been making... Oh, you've started making fudge and cookies and treats already? So I bought all the ingredients and it's in a tote, so it's separate from the rest of my life. And I did tell my husband that I'm going to make. Oh, you're just asking. I didn't know if you're making fun of me or not. I got stuff to make like a trail mix, snack mix, Christmas mix, and I'm gonna put it in baggies so he can take like a bucket of baggies to work and everybody can grab one for snack. I probably won't start making Christmas treats till next weekend and the weekend after that, like right before Christmas, because otherwise they're gonna be gone. And I want them to be fresh, and I'm not ready to make any of that yet. But yeah, we have a whole box of crafts that we need to do to make ornaments, and I haven't wrapped any gifts. Wickershire Swiss chard hates pure peat moss. Oh, even when you use the liquid fertilizer, that has to be the problem. Okay. Buy seed only, he says. So not my special project. My special product doesn't qualify. Indoor crew. Today's video was me harvesting sunflower microgreens. Check it out. It was a short, actually. I shouldn't use the word video, I don't think, because it's in the short category. Bob says, I bought my wife a nice tropical house plant for Christmas. Ooh, do you have a cute container vessel to put it in? Mr. Reuse It. Wickershire. I've grown Swiss chard in nasty clay soil. It did great over winter up at the 30-acre co-op in Virginia. Yeah, right. Stuff ate things at my offsite garden, as in animals. Ooh, you have mushrooms too. That's so exciting. I wonder what ones you have. I really hope mine work. Okay, he's Wickershire. Be right back. Checking in required soil pH. I have a gut feeling. For the Swiss chard problem? Okay, GT says hashtag WIG 2024 is competition. Will re-promote people to grow in the winter time from seed in any format. Storm says mom had her own recipe for Chex Mix. She called them nuts and bolts. What? You miss her cooking? Yeah, I'm just gonna put stuff I like to eat together. It's not technically like a specific recipe. Tammy, I made a recipe called moose farts. They're pretty good. Is it like caramel? Tell me what it is. They're pretty good. I'm making the different treats up and freezing them. Oh, okay. I did buy collapsible cardboard cute like cookie boxes this year, so I can actually gift like a medley of all the different treats I want to make. And then I bought tin Christmas cookie tins to store it here. I'm not giving those away. Are you kidding me? Bob942. Yeah, I use kitchen mixing bowl for the planting pot. Oh, a kitchen mixing bowl? I like that. Wickershire project. Swiss chard like 6.0 to 6.8. So what was your peat moss? Okay, CR, I thought it was a long form content. Oh, it was under shorts. Because it was under 3 minutes. Because now if it's under 3 minutes, it's a short. Wickershire. Peat moss is corroded organic material that typically has a pH of, oh, that's way low. 3.0 to 4.0. Aha! We have discovered. Yeah, I burned the crud out of my plants. Why do you want a cookie now? Oh, because we're talking about Christmas baking. Moose farts. I know. I wonder. I could just look it up. I suppose. What is it? Let's see. Christmas treat. We don't want to just type moose farts in. No bake candy treat. Show me the recipe. Sweetened condensed milk. It's in the form of a ball. I could show a picture, but there's a lot of stuff popping up, so give me a minute here. Sweetened condensed milk, butter, coconut, graham crackers, vanilla, chocolate chips. So get rid of all this stuff popping up, and then I'll show a picture. Yeah, it said no bake. It's not working. There we go. I might have to close some tabs. Did it work? I don't think it worked. Hello? It's spinning over here. Okay, now it's on the screen, maybe? This moose fart. Coconut, graham cracker, chocolate chip. It's an interesting combination, right? I think I have too much stuff going on and my computer's having a spaz. Okay. There she goes. Moose farts or graham cracker, sweet condensed milk, chocolate chip, coconut chocolate chips, no bake, roll in powder. Oh, you roll it in powdered sugar. Woo! Listening and reading. Are moose farts any good? Is it more pleasant than goat farts? Are we derailing the topic? Yes, it worked. Oh, Tammy, it's a cookie. It sounds wonderful besides the name. Yeah, what? Why? I didn't like read the information part of it. Why are we calling it a moose fart? What's in a name? Storms, Radies, and Cats says. Well, final thoughts, everybody. Maybe you want to share more about what you want to do next winter. Maybe this inspired you to build some cold frames or some hoop tunnel situations. We're going to end it soon. Wickershire. Barry, when the lights are off, names do not matter. That is funny, yeah. Grow food. That's right. In any way, in any shape, in any form. Sprouts, if you don't have grow lights or a sunny window, do just fine. There's a Samoa version too. Yeah, like the Girl Scout cookie, caramel. See, I figured it would have caramel in it. When I heard Moose Track, I thought of caramel right away. And then Storm says, depends on whose name you call out in the dark, Wickshire. Yes, thank you all for joining us. Appreciate you all. We met our goal for subscribers for November, but we need to meet our goal for December for subscribers. So please share with anyone that you think might be interested in this. GT selective hearing, says CR. Oh my goodness. It took a little bit to find all those pictures, but it was worth it. I like showing visuals. I like just discussing gardening in general. Thank you so much. Yes. Radio Jonesy, final thoughts. If we have a garden, we need to get rid of the wallabies one way or another. I know. Like I said, that Premier One electric fencing with the solar energizer might do really good. But I'm guessing they can jump high, and the poultry netting isn't very high. Storms, yeah, and see if we can get Shawnee more watch hours too. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, should we pull up a picture of a wallaby? Keep a wallaby out of the garden. Should I make it a big picture? It's pretty cute. Oh, it's asking me things. Don't ask me things. Ta-da. Grasses and herbs, roots, vegetables. They love gardens, you guys. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my. Well, usually when you're trying to keep something out, you grow the things it hates on the edge so it doesn't want to come further. And sometimes people say, well, grow what it wants on the edge so it has something to eat and it stays out of your stuff, but I feel like it's just gonna come. Thanks, Tammy. Yeah, thanks for chatting. Bob, I only grow houseplants in the winter. I have unalived a few houseplants this week on accident because I'm just not so. Yes, it's an animal. I'm not so good at it. Uh, this is my place and I live alone. Oh, Storms is talking to the Wickershire about being alone. So, GT, I thought it was slang for something. We could turn it into a slang term for something. Half rabbit, half roo, all annoying. GT says, a baby kangaroo? It's called a joey. Wickershire Project, no subspecies. Tammy, do you go live on Fridays or just when you feel like it? Great question. So I have a work from home remote job and it is swamped with overproduction currently. I don't know ever when I have time or energy because I also am a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids and I homeschool. So I was going live on Thursdays, and normally our friend South Florida Sunshine goes live on Fridays, but she is not home. And I started work 2 hours early so I could possibly have a chunk of time to come live tonight, knowing I don't have to get up super early tomorrow for normal life things. Saturday, our friend Diva in the Dirt goes live, and Sunday, Storms, Radios, and Cats goes live. So sometimes I go live Monday after all of that. I don't have a set day yet. I haven't been able to figure that out. So it was a great question. You kind of have to just keep your notifications on, and I always schedule it so at least you get like a 30-minute heads up. And watch the replay if you didn't make it live. Radio Jonesy confirms it is a smaller kangaroo. GT says, never mind, a baby kangaroo is called Kid or something. Radio Jonesy says it's a marsupial. Diva in the Dirt, hello. We are closing it down. I didn't have any more things to talk about, but we went over the greenhouse window shopping extravaganza. If you catch the replay, you can see fun pictures. Yes, I was talking about you. You heard me. Wickershire, Barry, knowing you live alone, wants to make me crawl under your bed and grab your feet in the morning when you get up. Oh, the fun ensues then. People are saying hey to Diva. Thank you for sharing her link. Yes, check out her channel and her lovely videos for Vlogmas. She's working very hard over there. Yes. Heidi ho. Epic timing. Yes. It was a great question, Tammy. Thanks. I wish I had a consistent live schedule because then people would know when to show up and everything. Because I like to have a topic, you know. Diva is greeting. Storm Traders and Cats. Okay, GT. Kid is a baby goat. I learned that SMH means shaking my head the other day. I think I can remember that now. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay, for real. Thank you all for coming to our greenhouse chat. I appreciate you all. Have a great weekend doing all the things. I'm sure I will see you around in all the other live streams. So take care. Bye-bye.